Spurs fans, I don't know about you, but last night it felt like a tank. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. What an odd week this was for our Spurs as they lost to the Wolves, which was expected. They're a playoff team. However, I don't think anybody expected Karl Anthony Towns to drop 60 points in the AT&T Center, a franchise record for the Timberwolves. Then Oklahoma City Thunder, an expected win. The Spurs barely win that game as Lonnie Walker hits a clutch three with 1.3 seconds left in the game to give the Spurs a win. And then last night, against the Pelicans team that's missing Brandon Ingram, got absolutely annihilated and embarrassed in what may be the worst first quarter of basketball I've ever watched by the San Antonio Spurs. They got outscored 35 to 10, had 6 turnovers, played sloppy, lazy, uninspired basketball, shot under 20% from the field, 11% from beyond the arc, missed more free throws than they made. What an absolute disaster. And I know some Spurs fans maybe loved what they saw last night, saying, yep, let's go for the draft pick. You know what? I don't want to watch any more games like that for the rest of the season because that looked like a team that was tanking. Pop got thrown out in the second quarter, gave a little wink on the way out. Maybe the wink was for, hey, I'm trying to get my team fired up and come back in this game somehow. Or I know what I'm doing. Whatever you read into that, Spurs fans, last night was ugly. Not just as a fan watching it on TV. I can't imagine the people that were there at the game that probably spent a lot of money for those tickets, hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. Maybe a family brought their children to the Spurs game for the first time, and the two kids each got their little Kelvin Johnson bobbleheads. Woo, go Spurs, go! Can't wait to see my team. And they were crying at the end of the first quarter because the team was just getting destroyed. I hope we don't have to experience that again. And if we start seeing more games like this, especially against teams that are just above us in the plane or just right below us, then the tank is on. I hope it's not. I hope just last night was an anomaly and just somehow bad basketball by everybody on that roster last night. We turn things around next week. I want to get to my version report card. While I'm doing so, drop a comment down below. What did you like about this week? What did you not like about that? Hit the thumbs up if you like to help support the channel. My friends, I need your thumbs up more than ever now because Spurs fans are checking out on the season. And of course, subscribe for more Spurs content. I will be here, win, lose, or tie. Go Spurs, go until I die. Anyway, it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. By the way, I'm going to start keeping track of this. What's up ahead of me? Just a quick tangent. We're 2.5 games out of the plan, and if the season ended today, we'd be the 8th overall pick in the NBA draft. I think that's two things you guys want to keep track of. So in the recaps, that's where we stand right now. Anyway, starting off with Mr. Triple Double, Deshante Murray. I'm worried. I am worried about the Spurs. Deshante Murray, yeah, he had a good week. Did his Deshante things. Was a little better from beyond the arc. 24 points per game, 7 rebounds, 9, almost 10 assists, getting steals, causing turnovers. Unfortunately, also creating his own turnovers as he averaged 4.3 turnovers a game. His turnovers have gone up as late over the last few weeks. A lot of this could be contributed with him scoring a lot more. Of course, he's the main ball handler, so just doing much more in the games is going to cause those turnovers to go up. But I really don't want to see him over 4 turnovers a game. He generally plays much more controlled than that, and just had a rough week with handling the ball. Up next, still kind of struggling in the starting lineup, but Devin Vassell, I thought, had overall a good week for him. These are much better numbers for him. I hope he can start turning things around. I still think he has a very high ceiling, but for whatever reason, ever since the Derek White trade and he's been inserted as a starter, things haven't quite clicked offensively. Defensively, he's still doing Devin things. I think he does play very well on defense. I like the fact that he can finish at the rim, and he has been showing the ability to start creating his own shots. They haven't been going in, and hopefully, with a few games we have left, he can get it going. A weird week for Keldon Johnson as he didn't play too well last night, but overall, I thought it was a good week for Keldon. He had a career high 34 versus the Wolves. Of course, you won't hear anything about that anywhere because Cat, as mentioned, went for 60, so that was obviously the focus of that game. But he shot well pretty much from everywhere, and I like the 4.7 assists. Keldon getting better at getting the ball to his teammates, something that he's been struggling with most of the year, averaging just about 2 assists a game. If he can be a 4+ assist game type of player, I think that would help the team. You know, just this a very balanced 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I think that would be very good for our small forward if he can produce something like that next season or the rest of this season. Josh Richardson starting in place of the injured Mcdermott, who, by the way, was out last night, so hopefully he's not going to miss a bunch of time. Injuries are really starting to rack up on the Spurs right now. I think we were down to 9 guys on the roster last night. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. But Josh Richardson, overall, I thought he has, sorry, weather's all messed up today. Overall, I thought he had a good week. Yeah, his field goal percentage sucks from 2 point land for whatever reason, but he was hitting his 3 pointers, hitting his free throws, grabbing some boards, causing some turnovers. So overall, considering he's been just kind of thrust in the starting role, and I didn't expect much from him from the Derek White trade, I thought he's played pretty well. So keep up the good work. Turtle Turtle Power. A typical Jakob Poeltl week. This is kind of what he's been doing on a weekly basis. 14 points a game on around 9 boards, a block or two, shooting well from the field. His free throw percentage was up. I mean, this is the Jakob Poeltl that we expect. Yeah, yes, I know Cat exploded for 60, but I got to get a special ugly in here real quick. The defense was bad. I can't really single out any one player. The defense was just bad across the board this week for the entire team, especially last night, especially against Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody was getting annihilated by Karl Anthony Towns against the Timberwolves. So just the defense as a whole, and a special ugly too while I'm here. The effort and play last night was ugly. Again, I don't want to see another game like that again this season. I really don't. So Jakob, keep Jakob in and out there, whatever that means. Lonnie Walker, our sixth man. So this was a good and bad week. Overall, Lonnie, I thought, played well. And his stats are a little skewed because he only played 5 minutes last night. We'll circle back to that. So the points per game, 14 points per game in only 18 minutes, shot well from the field. Hit a big game winner that I mentioned against OKC, but the week ended bad, not because of his play, but he was injured last night. Took a shot in the back, a shot in the quad, apparently. He took a shot in the quad, apparently got hit in the back, went down, and left the game early. And I don't know how long he's going to be out. He's been our spark plug off the bench. Really, the only consistent, reliable player we've had of late from the bench. The bench has been, as you can see on the stats, look at all the negatives, -10, -8, -15. The bench has been not good when, and negatives, I mean the plus minus right here. Mets has struggled. Lonnie's been the one consistent. And if he's out for a substantial amount of time, wow, we are going to need some help on the bench. So Lonnie, hopefully he's going to be okay tomorrow night versus the Warriors, who are going to be missing Steph Curry. And would love to see the Spurs beat Golden State. So Lonnie, hopefully it's just one of those things like, I've fallen and I can't get up. Pop, oh, I'm okay, and he's back tomorrow night. Up next, Trey Jones. Uh, Trey did not have a good week. He did not shoot very well. I thought this was a bad week. Now, overall, again, the bench was pretty much a yuck across the board, except for Lonnie. But his shots weren't going in, and teams were daring him to shoot the three. And I think he took 5 or 6 3-pointers this week, and he missed them all. You see, he's got a 0% shooting from the arc, and teams, rightfully so, are going to let you take those shots. If you can't make them, go ahead, throw it up. Klang, yep, that's what I thought. Yeah, just didn't give us as much as he usually does off the bench. The second unit was not clicking this week, and I'm not going to say it was all him. I just think it was a collective fail by our bench unit. Speaking of failing on the bench unit, whoo, this was a rough week for Zach Collins. Rough as in ugly. Just absolutely, his shooting was abysmal. And no, it's not all about stats. It's not all about shooting, but he was also turning the ball over. Um, Obviously, everybody's making mistakes with rotations on defense, but this was not a good week for Zach Collins. He's going to get a jail at a free card for me this year. He hadn't played for 2 years, and he's coming off serious ankle surgery or serious ankle injury with surgery. Next year will be the make or break year for me for Zach Collins. He's got half his contract guaranteed, and the third year is not guaranteed. So it's a wait and see. Yes, he struggled out there. You got to look at everything in perspective. And I think he will be on the roster next year unless we just cut him and pay half of his guaranteed contract. I don't think they're going to do that. He's still young. He's a former lottery pick. There's still potential there. We've seen flashes. But we also take it with a grain of salt. No preseason, no offseason before that. He hasn't played. So he's going to get a jail free card. And I don't give those that often, but he is going to get one. And next year, make or break. If he plays like this next year, he's going to have to go. Last but not least, Joshua Primo. Definitely struggling like a rookie. I mean, I still like he had a great offensive putback thunder dunk of justice this week. I think it was against OKC where he put back a miss and threw it down with two hands. And I like the confidence we see on the court from him. No matter what happens, no matter how bad he's playing, just keeps his head up, and that you can't always teach. So I love that in Josh Primo. What I don't like though is how much he struggled from the floor this week. This was an ugly week, at least offensively speaking. Just none of his shots were going in. Was abysmal from beyond the arc, shooting a just wretched 14%. And he led the team with the worst plus minus. Every player had a minus, as this was just a bad week, especially with last night's game. Rocked a -15. But he started, and I love the confidence. And we got to remember, he's 19. He also is going to get the kind of a get out of jail free card for me. Some people are saying trade him, cut him. He is a teenage rookie with limited college experience. This happens with young players a lot of times in their first year, extremely young players in their first year, where they're going to average a minimal points per game. They're going to shoot 40% from the floor or worse. This was expected. He gave us flashes earlier in the season. We haven't seen too many flashes since. I'm not going to give him up on him yet. Definitely got to give him some time to grow. Literally, he actually still might be growing. I don't think next season's the make or break year. Maybe not the third season, as he'll still only be 21. But we have 4 years to evaluate him, and if at the end of the 4 years he's not the guy, then so be it. We'll move on. But please stop with the Trey Joshua Primo or cut him. That's not happening. He's a teenage rookie in the NBA, and this was unfortunately. I may have been in denial myself, but we knew he was going to struggle at some point, and he's struggling right now. Let's get to the bench. Doug McDermott out for the season, sprained ankle. We won't see him again until next year. KB Dean did not play at all. He's missed 6 out of the last 7 games. I don't know what's going on with him. Is he done for the year? Jacques Landale, 3 games, 10 minutes a game, averaged 4 points, 3 rebounds, showed some flashes on offense. Sometimes it seems like he's out in quicksand on defense. I don't know what the Spurs plan with him long term. Maybe this will be a one and done thing. I have no idea. Devontae Cacott hasn't played in like what feels like forever. He's been reassigned to the G League from what I've read. Yeah, this bench thing's really easy to do when nobody's playing. Joe Wieskamp had a great game last night, played almost 20 minutes as the whole game was pretty much garbage time, but did score 11 points. Could we see a bigger role for him if Josh Richardson and or Lonnie Walker are going to miss an extended period of time? Just maybe. Romeo Langford did not play. Seriously, dude's been injured his whole career with the Boston Celtics. Comes to the Spurs, misses a bunch of games, plays one game, and he hasn't played since. He looked good in that one game, but he has not played since. Is he done for the year? Is he done for his career? I have no idea what's going on with this dude. And last but not least, you may forget they're on the team, but we have two-way players we signed recently. Small forward Robert Woodard II and DJ Stewart Jr., both 22 years old. If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Woodard played 2 years in the NBA. He's got very limited play experience. And DJ Stewart is just an undrafted college player. They're, could we see them? I mean, the roster's getting very thinned out with all the injuries. Maybe we call them up and throw them out there. If you're secretly tanking, see what you got in these guys. I don't know. I don't know what to do, Spurs fans. I know what to do. My player of the week. I mean, by default, Deshante Murray gets player of the week. This is a rough week as a Spurs fan, as we really, really could have went 0-3. Probably should have. Probably shouldn't have beat OKC. We didn't deserve to win that game. We didn't. I'll say it. OKC played harder than we did. We just, we got. I don't say play harder, but they fought all night and were down all night, and then came back in the fourth quarter and we won on a near buzzer beater. We could have very easily lost that game and gone 0-3. And sure, a lot of you would have appreciated that if you're looking for the draft pick. Up next, the Golden State Warriors. Tomorrow night, I will be, of course, calling all 3 of these games. Warriors don't have Steph Curry, but I don't know what to make of this San Antonio Spurs team going into that game after what I saw last night. I really don't. We got the Blazers. We have 3 games remaining with the Blazers, who are right there with us. I think they're right below us now when it comes to standings. So, yeah, if we lose all 3 to them in the fashion we did last night, then it's going to be very obvious the tank is in. But the Blazers are tanking right now, so that's going to be a rough game Wednesday night. That's like a 10 o'clock game. Late one. Then we play the Pelicans again. I mean, when I look at this schedule, I think in my head, in my heart, the Spurs probably should go 2-1, maybe even 3-0 since the Warriors don't have Steph Curry. For some reason, I have a bad feeling they're going to go 1-2, maybe even 0-3. I just don't know what to make of this team anymore. And as more injuries continue to mount up on the team, that's only going to hurt us in the long run. Drop a comment down below, guys. Do you think last night was a tank? If you're still here, did you feel that way? I don't know. I didn't like what I saw. I didn't. That's all I got. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for those of you that are still sticking around with the Spurs, even though they're losing. I'll be here till the end of the season. And as always, go Spurs, go.